My name is Andy. It's nice to meet all of you. Today, we're actually going to be talking about prospecting and AI, because sales AI is really hot right now. It covers a whole range of use cases and feature types. But today, we're going to focus a lot on sales agents. We'll talk about more of that in a second. But again, my name is Andy. I'm a design lead here at HubSpot. I've been here for about 2 years. I'm actually based in Austin, Texas, but I'm in the Cambridge HubSpot office today, here to talk about some fun things. My previous works here at HubSpot have been the prospecting workspace and the lead management solution. Still very close to my heart. Happy to talk about that too at a later time. And this is my PM partner, Christine. As you can tell, we are insane. We're in this VR thing that was like a scary, spooky haunted house, and it was terrifying. But I'll kick it over to you, Christine, to say hi.
Hi, everyone. I'm Christine. We like to have fun on this team. I'm a senior product manager on the prospecting product group. I've been here just a little over a year, and I am normally based in the San Francisco Bay Area. So hello to all the West Coasters out there. I'm excited to get to talk to you. This is my first Admin HUG session, so I'm really excited to get your feedback.
Awesome. So let's get into exactly what we're talking about today. We talked about prospecting and AI, but specifically, we're going to talk about sales AI and autonomous agents. If you're sitting here being like, hey, what is an agent? Don't worry, I had that question not too long ago. This is the definition we're going to be working with today. An AI agent is a software that performs tasks on behalf of a user. It can also automate process and make decisions and intelligently interact with their environment. So maybe take a screenshot of this to keep it in your back pocket. We can also bring it up again later on. But this is our definition of what an autonomous agent is and how we'll be speaking about it today. Cool. That is a super important question, what an agent is, but an even more important question is probably, why are we even building an agent? So Christine, tell us a little bit about that.
All right, so our journey this year has been starting with this ambitious goal of identifying how an agent could help turn prospects and deals into qualified meetings. So this is our big assumption that we're running with, that turning prospects and leads into qualified meetings is very time consuming, and it's a painful process for you and your sales teams. So there's the research involved on the company, on the contact. There's this like prioritization process of who do I reach out to first. So there's the email writing process, of course, and then the constant following up and making sure you're getting to a reply or a meeting. So we have some early thoughts on what use cases might be best to focus on first for this prospecting agent, but we'd love your input on whether we got it right or wrong, or are missing anything in our thinking. So that's what this interactive session will be about today. So our ask for you this session, our goal here is to focus on getting clarity on the problem. So what problems is it solving? What value does it provide for you and your org? 2, who is using it? Who in your organization might be the core user? And 3, what are your thoughts and concerns on this technology? Like I said, this is going to be a fun, interactive session. And actually, before we get started, Andy, I'm going to go completely off script and tell you a joke.
Oh, okay.
This last night. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
No one, because the door is an agent and it knocked on itself for me.
Okay, all right. Let's just pivot.
Did AI write that joke?
AI wrote this joke. This is brought to you by AI.
Anyway, let's just go straight into our discussion here. We're going to use this tool called Slido. If you've used it before, whoop, whoop, it's pretty cool. So what you're going to do is open a browser tab and go to slido.com and then type in this code 4059961. And what that will do is bring you into our interactive session. Like we talked about, we're going to be asking a few questions, some polls, different things like that, maybe some stack ranked questions for you. We're just going to try it out. So it's our first time using this, and we're all going to learn together. So it's going to be a great time. I'll give you all a second to get in there. This first question that you're going to see is just a quick gut check here on ranking the tasks that you think a sales AI agent could perform for you. Awesome. We're seeing some things coming in. These are some of the ideas that we've had in the last couple of months that we think an AI agent could help with. So we want to make sure that we're doing the right thing and hearing from admins like yourself. If you come in and you're like, wow, these top 3 ones are not for me, please put other, and then we're going to have you come on stage if you feel comfortable to chat through it.
This is so exciting.
Moving through very slowly.
2 and 3 are competing, but I think we have a pretty clear winner.
This is like a race, you know? Like
Yeah.
who's gonna win?
Which one are we putting money on?
I don't really bet, Christine.
Yikes. This is being recorded. All right. Wow, we still got some folks ranking. Let's give it another 5 seconds. All right. I think we're good. So, love to see that some of the ideas that we had are resonating. Does anybody who ranked handle inbound leads want to raise their hands and sort of tell us why you voted for that?
All right. Come on stage. Oh, wait, I'm getting a bunch of people. Oh, cool. We've got one. Let's hear it. Ramon, I think you're muted.
Mute button's far left corner of your screen.
Got it. Sorry, I was taking a nap. No, I'm just kidding. I just think that I guess for I do insurance, so it's a little different. But I think that I find myself doing a lot of repetitive outbound tasks. There's not really a lot of automation or custom built automation in the tool itself right now that I can really use. I have different types of leads, so I know that we have different templates and different actions that we can do. But it would be nice if I can just have AI basically read the lead and kind of figure out what type of cold outreach it would do based on what that lead or what the data points that I've imported into HubSpot show. So
tell us more about your different types of leads.
So I do life insurance. So it's really based on, so I do mortgage protection, final expense, and just regular life insurance. Most of it's based on mortgage protection, only because where I'm receiving my leads from, it's actually coming from our homeowners insurance side. So we sell homeowners insurance on one end, and then that lead comes to me to try to get them to basically upgrade into some sort of life insurance product. So, for example, a lot of times with mortgage protection, final expense, just so you guys know, they're just concepts. They're all backed up by life insurance. So if somebody tells you, hey, do you want mortgage protection insurance? It's basically term insurance. It's not like a different product altogether. It's just a repackaging of the same thing, right? But so somebody that would get term insurance would be somebody like, 30s, 40s, 20s, 30s, 40s, right? Anybody older than that, they would probably be better off doing some sort of life insurance product that doesn't have so many health requirements, almost like guaranteed coverage. So I would like a way that, based on the year, because I actually import. So right now, I'm kind of the experiment in the company at the moment. They don't use HubSpot directly on their website. So I'm basically getting a file every week of everybody that's done their stuff online, with the exception of those that request to be contacted immediately. So that one I'll just take care of as it comes in. So that email comes to me directly. But then so I get the CSV file, I process it. They have like 160 points of data that they collect for homeowners insurance, as you can imagine. I reduce those down, put those into a CSV file, format that file, and then import it into HubSpot, which is kind of a pain in the neck, but it is for what it is for the moment. So I just wish there was a way that I could customize like the way that the outreach happens based on at least the date of birth, sometimes maybe even the amount of the home that they purchased, because if they're buying a $2 million house, then that's going to change kind of the product that I offer them. So some way of tweaking the way that but I actually go in there and manually do all that fun now. So
Yeah,
I don't know if that answers your question.
It does. Yeah. Thanks, Ramon.
I feel like that kind of gets into the next poll that I wanted to share, and some awesome folks have started sharing in the chat as well. But how do you handle some of these tasks, especially given that this inbound use case ranked highest? I would love to hear from folks on, let's say you have somebody visiting your website or indicating interest on a form. What would you want the agent to do, and how do you handle this today? What is that process looking like? So you can either drop things in the chat, which would be, if that's easier for you, if you want to use the Slido, that's great too. We'd also love to, if you want to share live, raise your hand.
While we're waiting, I just want to call out, I think Joanne said a really interesting thing in the chat. She'd like AI to scan the contents of an inbound email to determine where it needs to go. So that, to me, seems like a great use case of AI, because you can never, based on the text of an email, it would be very hard to make like a branching workflow or something that would always send it down the right route. But for AI to read and triage that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, love this idea. Joanne, I don't know if you're comfortable speaking more to this, but curious if you can give an example of an email that might come in today to your company, and where you would want it to go.
Joanne, if you can raise your hand, we can bring you up on the, oh, there you are. Welcome, Joanne. Let's hear it.
Hiya. Yeah, so we have a lot of inbound emails that sort of point to different things and different services that we have. And it would be great if it could pick up keywords within the body of the email. So whether that's advertising services for us or for brochures that we supply. So we're a publishing company, and we get thousands of inbound, and a lot of them are bots, and we've got to try and find a way to sort of filter them out. So what we're doing at the moment actually is sending everyone a form that emails in, that then is connected to obviously a property within HubSpot that says what service they're looking for. And then that determines where the lead then goes. But it would be great if we didn't have to do that. So it just sort of directly went to the person and picked up those keywords within the email.
I love that idea.
Fabulous. Thanks.
Yeah, it looks like we're getting awesome ideas coming through on the Slido. Just add all of these to the product roadmap. That's cool. Asking for responding on your behalf, asking qualifying questions, and book a meeting if qualified. Yeah, so qualification seems to be another one that came through as well.
Looks like Frank says wanting the agent to respond for you and then get the prospect to that booked meeting. That makes sense. Sorry, Kyle, go ahead.
There it is. Tillman mentions helpful nudging for highly engaged contacts in a sequence. So that's an interesting thing, where a sequence could move into a more nuanced state than just terminated or active, right? Based on whether they responded or booked an email or not, or booked a meeting or not, to be able to like re-engage in things or adjust the cadence of the emails or something based on behavior would be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really interested in this sending to the right person idea. It's John's idea on screen right here about scanning the contact type, sending them to the right area of business. Does anybody want to talk about how they would want routing to work? Actually, are you referring to routing? And how would you want that to be executed? I don't know if we can get John on screen. Okay, if not John, does anybody else want to talk about routing and where you would want an email to be funneled in your organization based on the content or the contact?
Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Oh, okay, perfect. So I think my example would be kind of piggybacking off the email scanning. Let's say we route replacement parts, spare, any spare requests to our technical support team. So without somebody having to read through all that email, if something mentioned like a keyword or a term, we could basically say, hey, if the email body contains this, we're pretty confident that it should get routed to the technical support team, just as an example.
I love that idea, Tillman. Do you think, and I think this is our second time hearing the keywords idea. Would you imagine that you or someone in your sales org would tell us what those keywords should be? There's like a running list, or yeah, how would you want that executed?
Yeah, I think that would be something we'd have to surface. So you guys put together something for like coaching playlists that use track terms and things, almost like being able to determine what those terms are that you want to track. I think that gives everybody a really good use case for using it, because it's not like boxed into preset options.
Right. All right, I think we're getting lots of folks saying, yeah, routing based on owner, routing based on context to the specific team. I think someone in chat mentioned that routing to the right vertical is really important. So thank you all so much for sharing these ideas. Let's see, should we move on to the next question, Andy?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Okay. A bit on the opposite side, we've talked a lot about opportunities that an AI agent can do for you. Want to hear just a little bit of your concerns and what problems you could see a sales agent creating for you. So feel free to answer here, or we can call you up on stage and you can share live.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Okay. I think going back to the previous question, this kind of ties into it. And I've worked in some corporate environments where we've had something kind of like this, like an automatical scanning, routing type of thing. And I think the biggest thing is the work on the front end. So, going in there and determining what's urgent. So, low, medium, high urgency. To me, I guess I've only been working in HubSpot for the last 2 or 3 months, but I think maybe throwing it into a task, and then the task routing would probably be the best and easiest way. But I think that's the hardest work is going to be in the front end. You have to basically come up with a bunch of keywords or a bunch of key phrases or a combination thereof, and then it's going to have to determine the severity of that task and then move forward. I don't know. I want to hear what you guys think. Like, do you think it would be better as a task? I guess that would be the only way in HubSpot to do it. What do you guys think?
I mean, that's a good question. I think we're trying to figure out the best way to execute on this. We know that Sequences, for example, does orient around tasks, but I think we're just trying to figure out the right balance between this AI agent like handling the tasks for you autonomously versus reminding you to do it. And in this case, trying to remove human intervention so that you can focus on more important things than managing your comms. I don't know if that answered your question. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. I may have taken him off too early.
Hopefully that answered.
Yeah. One thing I want to mention, last year at Inbound, HubSpot announced a whole bunch of AI tools. And in one of my sessions to admins like you all, I mentioned, and here is the setting where you can turn all these new AI tools off. And people applauded. I had to pause for applause, which just makes me think that maybe admins are, a lot of the things I'm seeing here, I think could be boiled down to trust. Is the agent going to represent us the way we want to be represented? Are they going to be talking to the right person? Are they going to come across as human and helpful, or are they going to sound like a bot? And so, yeah, I'm seeing some positive direction in the chat here. I'm curious from you all, how can it earn your trust? What would that look like? Where are you worried it's going to run off the rails? I know we have a lot of that stuff in the Slido here, but.
Yeah, I think we had a lot of hypotheses around where people might be concerned, and it's helpful to see this validation. It seems like sounding like a non-human is a primary concern. Inaccuracy of data, for example. Incorrect information. All right, looks like we have someone hand raised. Would you like to share?
Hi, can you hear me well?
Yes.
Good, good. What I also mentioned on Slido, like one of the components that I see, like some in my previous job or with some clients, is this control freak or a need to control or to see like what the agent's gonna say. But because it's like coming from a specific library or a specific set of rules, you cannot really determine like what the agent's gonna say. And I believe that they might be in trouble for compliance or for anything like this. However, like when you create a GPT, like a GPT app within there, you can put specific documentations or a specific set of content to train like the model, where you can say like, you can say this, or this is the knowledge base for the company where you can navigate around the answers. And if you could have some sort of, company rules or company specific knowledge within this, where I can go there, I can add it, or I can put some guardrails, or I can say like, do not do this. I think this would give more control for the admins or for the companies to feel comfortable using more this feature, because you cannot see, you cannot predict, or you cannot delimitate where the agent can act or what the agent can do. It's some sort of like, like kind of ask for God to help and let's pray that everything's gonna work, like seems like a movement of faith rather than technology, because most of the companies, they don't understand where they're going in the sake of technology, AI, because everything is new, it's a hype. But until this transition happens and they understand how it works, I think it's gonna be like a really, it's kind of a trouble, like for you to earn the trust.
Yeah, for sure. So being able to provide constraints and guardrails is hyper important. Can you walk me through how you might want to instruct the agent on that? Like you mentioned potentially uploading a document with the company rules or...
Yeah, I mean, not all the companies, but I've seen like some companies that have some internal knowledge bases, right? So especially for the customer support or for even like to partners or to external customers to troubleshoot themselves.
Mm-hmm.
If you could have like this library of like some minimal guardrails, like if you're running a campaign, or like what are the rules of the campaigns, when it starts, when it ends, what are the products eligible, or some sort of guidance where anytime like this question or this call triggers and identified, okay, this is the subject. The subject is a campaign that I'm running now for Black Friday or something like this. Those are the rules for the campaigns. So nothing outside of those rules I can confirm, or I can like be creative just for the sake of giving an answer, or even like having like a page or some specific questions where the admin can go and set like the rules or what the company can do or the company cannot do, because you kind of put the guardrail for the agent. The agent can still be creative, can still like interact with the customer, but there are limits. And this could be updated at any time. You can go to the settings page, you can delimit it like through a knowledge base or something like this.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. All right. I saw mention of workflows quite a bit in the chat. Does someone want to share how they might see an agent and a workflow partnering together? Oh, it looks like
Chris, we've got Chris on the call real quick.
Okay, I'll come back to you.
I can try to tie this to workflows.
Sure.
But is there any talk of like AI agents that can coach maybe anybody in HubSpot? Because it sounds like there's a disconnect between like we're setting up tools for AI for admins to better set up, structures and processes and keep data clean on one side, and then the other side we're making it easier for sales users to prospect and to do their jobs. But I'm wondering if there's ways we can say, hey, admin, like this maintenance area is becoming like you're having to do daily maintenance here. So is there a human coaching moment needed? Or the last time this happened, we did this thing and maybe the message didn't get through, or some kind of help. For me, like admins need a ton of help understanding how to manage users on an interpersonal basis. And some of these tools like do not help with that problem, and sometimes they might make it worse.
So you're saying like another tool is scary to you because it's just something else that you'll have to manage for your sales users?
I'll have to manage them using it. And if I can't get adoption in one place of the platform, like it's the opposite of the trust and control, right? Like that only comes, so coaching about how to be a better admin of the system instead of how to create more tools for the team. Like, because if the team's not even using the system, it doesn't matter how many tools, we're creating.
Right.
So I'm just curious overall, like, has there been any conversations around that? Because I think a lot of the tools that we're talking about could support that, but it's taking a different view of maybe monitoring different interactions in the system across users.
Yeah, I think it's a great point. And I think like trying to balance surfacing new technology to customers while also giving users the options for safety and guardrails is something that we're trying to really find the right balance between. So like learning fast, failing fast, innovating quickly versus like respecting safety and also allowing admins to have more of an oversight over what the users are doing is also a priority. So I don't unfortunately have a straightforward answer for you, but I just hope you know that rest assured we are thinking about how we can coach admins and users on how to use this product and make it seamless and easy. That is our goal.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay. I would love to hear from someone who's saying, my work has a no AI rule. So Kylie, if you would be willing, I'd love to hear more about what the concerns are from your management.
Cody also put something in the chat while we're waiting for that. Having AI recognize patterns in what we do within the CRM and suggesting tools that are built in to help optimize and create more efficiency would be awesome. Kind of like that.
Yeah, just great ideas.
All right, Kylie, come on up.
Is there a way we can unmute Kylie?
Bottom left-hand corner, Kylie.
I'm muted. Took me too long. So my work just has a general no AI policy, mostly because of lack of understanding. So they've just blanketed a band across it. They're fine with automations. It's just if it has that AI name attached to it, they get scared and they say, no, thank you. So I think it would be I would need like resources on how to show this actually could be beneficial to you. Oh, Matt, I'm in the insurance industry.
Can you share what automations that your leadership is okay with using right now?
So I use crap ton of workflows and a lot of forms in order to connect our partner accounts, but then also sequences. They're fine with sequences in order to try to book meetings. But yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that this would fly sort of under the radar if it was pitched more as like it's an advanced workflow or an advanced sequence?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm the only one in my business that understands what HubSpot does. And so if you just change the name, they would never know. It's so sad. Or I can just explain it to them. But then I would have to get approvals and a bunch of people who don't know, aren't up to date on what's going on. Then yeah, it's just a name that scares them.
Yeah. Do you know what their reaction is to the word agent?
They love the word agent. It's insurance.
All right, we'll just slap agent on all of our screens. All right, thank you so much. Seeing here in the chat, AI is seen as letting something into our data that isn't trusted. Wow, lots of comments around this.
Yeah.
Wondering if, wait, let me make sure that we're doing okay on time, first of all.
You're okay. I had one like pretty specific question. I think we've established that there's a bit of trust or lack of trust to adopting anything with AI, especially if it has that name. It's unclear exactly what that means. I also heard on saw on one of the questions that there was concern around like it's just going to go crazy and say weird things just based on experimenting with what we have in the market today. So I'm curious if you all are thinking of wanting to maybe tell the agent to like act within your brand, or do you want it to sound human, or do you want like some sort of combo of both? So we talk about brand kit and marketing. That's very different than brand kit in sales, one-to-one emails. Tim. That was fast. Come on up, Tim. Oh, wow. We've got a lot of requests.
AI is obviously huge. We're introducing it in our company. We do manufacturing. And one of the big ones is if you pay for some of the higher tiers of, say, ChatGPT or Anthropic, any of these, all of your data is secure. So you can train that model without fear of any of your company's information getting out there. So if HubSpot can include that and clear documentation on, hey, this stays locked inside your company and isn't being used to train our AI model as a whole, it would make people feel a lot better. I know that's how I sold my leadership team on some of the AI tools that we're using. So I have my version of ChatGPT. I can basically plug in anything I want and it writes it in our brand voice and according to the things that I've done. And granted, I use it probably way more than I should. It's almost become a crutch, because it's such a great tool. So if you're going to introduce these tools, building that trust comes first with, hey, all of your stuff, it's locked down to your company. We're not using it to train the rest of our model as a whole, because that's one of the things a lot of people are afraid of, because we have a couple products that are proprietary. We don't want any of that information leaked, but we have guarantees that it's locked down. So that's just my 2 cents on that. So
nice. For sure. Follow up there. We hear also from customers sometimes that they want industry best practices, or what are other companies like me doing? Is that something that interests you as well?
Yeah, I mean, within reason, you can Google that. So I think needing that specifically listed, because there's how many industries connected through HubSpot, that would get exhaustive. But if you're following, like you said, the industry best practices, or have just a lockdown guarantee that if you're using AI, what you use for training for your brand voice or your information is just locked down to you, that would be enough, I think, for most people.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing.
I think it's cool just to see through all these responses that there's also a range in risk tolerance. I think some folks, at the higher end of the spectrum are saying, I would want this to respond for me, that would save me time. And then a lot of folks sort of at the end that are suggesting more automation type ideas. I think someone had mentioned I want the agent to send out a meeting link for me and just get meetings on the calendar, but essentially I have a human take over after that. So I'm curious whether the right option is to maybe start as more of an automation that makes customers more comfortable with the idea, and then kind of grow our way into more of this advanced, it can reply for you, it can direct to the right people sort of approach, taking baby steps. That's kind of my takeaway from this, but I'm curious if others want to share.
I wonder too, a lot of the concerns I'm seeing repeatedly in the chat are about, where is this data being used? Is it being used to train the model, just for my company or for all companies? And then I feel like that's separate from how much control the AI has over, for example, an interaction with a potential customer. Like maybe people want both those things, right? As long as the data only stays in my portal and is not leaking out to any other HubSpot customer, then the AI can go crazy. It can do whatever it wants because it's powered by my data and my brand. But if giving you data means you're going to share it with other HubSpot customers, then forget it. We're done.
Right. I totally hear you on that. All right, we have one more raised hand before we move to the next question. Chris, you want to unmute?
Yeah. Related to, I think there's a big opportunity to use CRM object properties to control exactly what these agents are doing. My personal experience, when I first got into the beta for the prepare for meeting button, I noticed immediately that if I did not know where that information was coming from, no matter how good it looked, since I knew it was a combination of internal and external information, I couldn't really trust it. And since I'm also focused on the post-sales relationship, being able to tell that tool, please look at product history every time, or please look at this field or that field, I think is almost, I could say as a user myself and the people I coach, I would I would love that to be required, so that, similar to the brand voice guidelines that are kind of sitting in settings, managing that at the granular level, I would think should be possible if you're connecting it to CRM objects. Because I've started putting information into properties that I would want to do that with the goal and hope that someday I can. So as an example, if I have like a podcast episode object, I used ChatGPT to tell me brand and tone, or tone and, how the content looks or sounds from 90 episodes. And I brought all that information into the specific episode records. So if I was able to then use that to say, okay, the next episode needs to be about this, or these are the things that people are resonating with, now I can use that messaging in sales and marketing. And I think there's a lot of opportunity in using the property management capabilities of the system to kind of guide that and create some control that then you could point to and say, look, now this is the only thing that it's drawing information from, boss, right? Could provide some clarity and control that might help with some initial adoption too.
Yeah, that's a really interesting idea. So if you can customize which objects it's reading, so for example, you can read my previous emails with a contact, but don't look at my call transcripts, or like you were saying, the podcast object would help to instill trust.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you all so much. We're going to pivot to the next question.
Sweet. That was great. I feel like we could have talked about that for the rest of the time. Maybe got more. Okay. This is a two-part question. So we're going to start first with who in your organization could you see setting up this sales AI agent? You can select one or more. And then we're going to have a second question after this around who you think would monitor it. So first, let's focus on setup. Who is creating this thing and making sure that it's good to go?
Noticing a slight bias towards CRM admin in this group.
Admins are like, me.
Everything falls to the admin. That's why we need you. That's why we need them.
Yes, 100%. I figured it might be admins, but like not so far and away like this. Is pretty interesting.
Yeah, same.
I'd be curious, as you're all responding, especially those of you who said CRM admin, does your organization have sales ops, marketing ops, some of these other people who could do it? Or is it falling to you because just given the structure of your organization, you do literally everything?
We are marketing. And
right. Actually, I should have phrased the question differently. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So we should expect that those who vote as CRM admin might also be including ops as part of the hats.
Yeah. Admin is often the de facto ops person, and ops is often the de facto admin person.
Wow. So much respect for you all. It's a lot of work. Rep ops.
Like Joanne, it would be collaborative, but I have 2 job roles.
All right.
Okay.
I think that one's pretty straightforward. I think I'm going to move on to the next question.
Yep, let's do it. Okay, now who in your organization do you see would use and monitor this autonomous agent? Oh, wow. This is fun. I really want this to be animated.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Super interesting. Maybe also with the bias that CRM admin includes some other hats as well.
Sure. But I was thinking for sure, like either a BDR, or I guess we don't have it like an AE, a sort of option here, but just like the people who currently enroll people in sequences, I would think would be the ones turning this on.
Yeah, I should have included AE. Sorry, folks. Maybe you can throw that into other. All right. I'd actually love to hear from some admins because I'm curious why you think it'd fall to you guys as opposed to, I don't know, maybe a sales rep or a head of sales. Let's see.
I'm actually realizing that Hector raised his hand in regards to the previous question.
Oh, okay.
So,
great.
Hector, I'm going to go ahead and bring you on. If the moment has passed, no pressure. I just didn't want to leave you hanging.
Hi, yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, it's somewhat related, and then I wanted to ask if it's too far-fetched to ask. I'm on the sales side and business development, and I want my internal technology team to approve our use of AI tools in HubSpot. Our subsidiary has a very strict NDA. We don't even want our customers' names to be leaked out. And what is it far-fetched to ask to get like a customer success rep to ensure that the data is safe, or someone from privacy team? Because I mean, there's a big opportunity even for the HubSpot account to grow if because we're using it for one business unit, but if it shows success, it can grow into the rest of the organization in some areas at least. So is it far-fetched to try to get somebody on a call? Because they're all I've gotten has been like links and summaries of privacy agreements, and I just cannot get buy-in. So I don't know if you recommend a way to share that. And we have Microsoft Copilot for all our suite. So I mean, that's the selling point of Copilot, is that it all lives in the tenant. But on the HubSpot side, I would love to use those tools. So I don't know if you have a recommendation.
Right.
I mean, is it even safe? Or is that data still being used for training the models, and where one could potentially leak out customer relationships?
Right. I mean, it is meant to be specific to each customer, and that any training that we would consider on the roadmap would be that it's just training to improve responses for your own portal and not across. But I hear you. I think because of the security risks and guardrails related to this agent, probably wouldn't be on the the ICs to manage this tool.
I guess the question is there a way to get a human to say that to our CTO and our CISO or something from HubSpot?
Like a CSM or like someone who's
Anybody from the privacy group or CSM? Yeah.
Yes, we would be prepped as we are ready to go to market to have those responses. All right. I'm seeing from Ashton in the chat, still can't even get our BDRs and AEs to run their own sequences. So marketing builds and enrolls by signing in as them. That is super interesting. So, so maybe it would be marketing that you voted for in this poll. I'm curious that those who answered other, if you could drop in the chat what titles that were missing. I would love to hear what those are. Okay, agree with Hector. Awesome.
Also curious if I mean, use and monitor is pretty broad terms. How would you, what are you expecting to monitor this agent to do?
I'm excited to see how people respond, because when we talk about this kind of technology, I imagine like a sales rep sitting in a cockpit and there's like dials and switches all around, telling them what's happening, and they can like push levers and things. But then I realized I don't know what any of the readouts are. I don't know what the metrics are or what the buttons do. No.
Yeah, totally. These are great though. Checking responses, making sure the language is correct, overall success of the tool. What is success of an AI sales agent? How would you define that? Come on up, Chris.
I have thoughts. It's like, is it saving people time? Is it creating more headaches than it's fixing? Are those headaches something that we can learn from, that we can make the tool itself better? Yeah, success as in should be as simple as, is it doing what we are expecting it to do? Anybody, that's why I said monitor could be almost all of these options that you have in this list. Because if it relates to, all the way from brand voice and messaging to how we talk about our products and their benefits and their value props, if we're expecting it to replace any kind of sales rep, is it doing that effectively?
Awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Great point. All right, efficiency and speed to close. Yes, definitely. All right, we've got less than 10 minutes left, so I'm going to move on to the next question. Are you using sales AI agent technology today? I think I saw someone mention Voxia AI. All right. There are a number of people evaluating. And this is specifically agent technology, not just AI in general in terms of scoring or predictability or anything like that, specifically agents. Okay. Awesome. From the 7% that have said yes, does anyone want to come on and share a positive experience with an agent tool that they're using today? All right, Tim.
We're in the early stages of testing. It's called Seamless AI. It's more of a prospecting tool for that, as far as like helps eliminate some of the cold calling. We can type in any company, any specifics, job. There's all kinds of crazy breakdowns on this where you can get basically immediate contact information, LinkedIn, even like cell phones, which is kind of creepy, and all kinds of information on people. And it is all, they use AI to test to make sure that all of the stuff that they give you is active and working information, which is really, really nice. And we are kind of beta testing that right now, but it's kind of mind blowing how quickly we can boil down to specific sellers, suppliers, and customers within a matter of seconds, as opposed to long process of digging.
Yeah, and to the point of success metrics, what are you seeing in terms of needles being moved?
So far, it's been like 70 to 80%, which is, I mean, like we contact somebody and we're getting like immediate responses. It's been quite good. Again, we're still beta testing. It's only been a couple of weeks, but like we're looking into jumping in for our entire sales team with this. So if HubSpot, they have a HubSpot integration that is not HubSpot certified quite yet. But if HubSpot's AI could do this like in-house, that would be huge.
Awesome. Can you talk us through your journey of getting leadership buy-in on this? What were your thoughts, your company's thoughts on integration?
I've been pretty blessed. My company, if I throw out an idea and I usually back it up with valid points and information, they're kind of all in on AI right now, which is really cool. It's very different than where Kylie was at earlier. So I feel for you, Kylie. That's a bummer. Mine's not like that at all. If I can present a good use case for this and the price point is worth it, we've kind of jumped in and seen some really good results with it. So.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. I want to hear from so many people who are using the Sales AI agent, but we've got about 5 minutes left. So if you are using others, can you please drop them in the chat, and then we will research them after the call and look into them. 2 more questions. These are really quick. What were your thoughts at the beginning of the session? Of course, the follow-up question will be, what were your thoughts at the end of this session? All right. Oh, so no one was negative so far.
Not a single curmudgeon in the crowd? That
Yeah.
surprises me. There we go. There you are.
Was waiting for that one. Let's wait 10 more seconds and we'll flip to end of session. Okay, so most people were positive or maybe unsure. Let's switch to end.
Neck and neck.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Where are my negatives at?
It would have been really interesting if that number had increased over the course of the session.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
All right, well, folks, thanks so much. We're gonna wrap up with our last slide here. Just give me a second. If you're interested in joining our private beta, we might have some stuff going on under the hood. Please go to this below. Kyle or Deanna, if you could drop that into the chat as well, that'd be awesome. But before we wrap up, just wanted to share a surprise and say, guess what? Andi and I have been AI agents this whole time. And
Oh, what a surprise. Oh, man. As a peace offering to that terrible joke, please, please fill out this form if you're interested in joining our private beta.
we were practicing our glitching earlier. It wasn't really working, but if anyone has tips for how to glitch appropriately, like
you gotta move your mouth in a weird way and grow like an extra 3 hands.
Yes. Those avatars are pretty crazy. I don't know if some of you have seen them, but they are a bit insane. All right, with 3 minutes left, Kyle, do you think we should wrap things up or open for Q&A, or how do you normally do this?
I am fine with wrapping up unless if anyone has any final questions you want to drop in here. Andi and Christine have asked you all a lot of questions. If you have questions to share, that'll be helpful. We probably don't have time to get through them, but I will be sharing the chat and Q&A with these two after this meeting is over. And so, okay, well, of course, specifics around when things will be available is always the top question.
When does it open up? I'm happy to share that. We are doing a very slow rollout of beta. As you imagine, there are lots of complexities to this product. So later this month is when we hope to invite a handful of folks and then keep rolling it out to private beta in August. So hopefully we'll see some of you in there. Do this
Nice.
Q&A style more. Tim says he wants more Q&A.
That's great to hear. And I think you two nailed it. So this was good. Thank you all for joining in. This is a good discussion. I really enjoyed it. I think we will go ahead and end it here. I am happy to stay till the top of the hour for any final comments that want to trickle in. But Andi, Christine, thanks so much for being here. I guess final question is, if people want to connect with you after this, are you on LinkedIn? Do you have a preferred, like, where do you like customers to meet you?
Well, we'll both be at Inbound, so if you're going to be there, we'd love for y'all to stop by. There's going to be like some demo booths, and we'll be around hanging there, just hovering, wanting to talk to folks. So please find us. We're the two insane people walking around pretending we're stand-up comics. So see you there. Also, LinkedIn is great. Emails are great too.
Oh my gosh. I was trying to find mine on LinkedIn and you totally beat me to
The joke is on YouTube because Deanna really is an AI agent.
You are an agent.
We've been
Thank
trying to keep it a secret, but what better place to reveal?
I knew you were too perfect. I just knew it.
All right. Well, we are now really officially at time. Thank you both for being here. Thanks everyone for joining, and hope to see you all back next week. Enjoy the rest of the Tuesday.
Thank you.